No, she's not here yet. Oh. Yeah, she's here now. Yeah. Okay, you got it. Yeah. You're late, Marie.
Yeah, I'm late. Starland Motel, room 108. Sounds familiar.
Yeah, well, could be. He asked for you by name.
Any other calls?
Just the one.
Busted her a couple years ago for possession at a party. She was killed last night making an out call from the Model Palace.
Isn't that one of those joints over on Western Boulevard?
Right. She was beaten to death, but there was no evidence of any kind of sexual molestation.
We also found out that she had traveled a lot this past year. We got one report from the Las Vegas PD. Marie was a possible underworld courier. She was used to spending a lot of money wherever she went, large amounts.
Oh, so that's the reason those two hotshots from robbery homicide suddenly got interested.
Look, we've spent a lot of time in the last few months checking out realtors' leases, utility bills, and we found out that at least a dozen massage parlors, encounter clubs, model studios, including the Model Palace, are all fronts for prostitution. And all of them, regardless of whose name is on the lease, belong to a man named John Frazier.
Frazier? He's organized crime.
Well, he's at the least financed by organized crime.
We kept him out of here a long time. The better part of 30 years.
Walt, if there's a chance that we can tie this girl's death to Frazier or one of his people, we can throw him out again.
You know, a lot of times when I've been out in the street working lately, I've noticed that the girls working these places keep getting younger and younger.
That's where we asked to meet with you and Walt.
Ah, you want me to go out in the street?
Right. Now, what's the best undercover approach?
Well, the simplest, probably a young guy from nowhere, going nowhere, with the right credentials. Not much money, but still not a hustler yet.
Huh? Makes sense.
I'll go out and start talking to some of the young girls, professionals and the amateurs. If there's a chance that organized crime has really taken hold, then the girls will be under pretty firm control. If it's just the usual collection of pimps sitting around buying each other coffee while the girls are out doing their thing, I'm afraid we are dealing with a psycho.
Well, can you start tonight?
Sounds like the best time.
Good luck.
Yeah. Gentlemen.
Who is it? Carol Manning. Hello?
You probably don't remember me, do you?
Well, the face is familiar, but I gotta admit.
I was 2 years behind you at Pans Creek High.
Oh, sure. Come on in. I remember you now. How long you been in the big city? And how'd you find me?
3 weeks. I Saw your mom before I left, and she gave me your address.
Why did it take you 3 weeks?
Well, she told me how well you were doing modeling, and I'm only just starting and not doing very well yet.
So, you thought that you'd wait a week or so until you were rich and famous, too.
Yeah, something like that, I guess.
But you went broke first.
No, I've got some money.
You probably have as much as 50 cents left.
Would you believe $1.98?
Easily. Mom all right?
Yeah, she's fine.
Well, just one thing I ask. If the town gets to be too much for you, and you go back home, let my mother go on thinking I'm really living in a plush apartment and modeling days and dating nice young guys at night.
Sure, why not?
Well, you may have already noticed this is not an apartment, it's a motel. And in a while you'd realize there are no modeling jobs, and the guys I date at night are out of the trick book. Here, take this.
Oh, I really shouldn't take your money. I mean, I'm gonna pay it back.
Don't worry about it. I'd ask you to stay with me, but I may have to get out of this place or even leave town for a couple of weeks. I'm gonna have to get you out of here, Carol.
I really appreciate this.
Hey, sure. Take care of yourself. Who is it?
Frank.
I'll be seeing you.
Sure.
That's nice.
Yeah, Frank. Very nice and very young.
Not if she's interested.
She isn't. Yet. I'll get you a drink.
When I was young, I used to run with a pack. We hitched a ride down the railroad track. I was living free, the American dream. Met a girl a couple years ago, and I'm never gonna let her go. It's so right, and I'm never gonna lose the fight. What's
Well, you're out kind of late, aren't you, Hanson?
Well, very early, maybe. Which is it to you, honey?
It's all the same to me. Are you, looking for a party?
What's it gonna cost to go to the party?
$50 should cover everything. Anything you want.
Well, it's more than I can manage, honey, but I can spring for your dime for a phone call downtown. You're under arrest. Come on, honey. Hard way, you go the easy way.
I always go hard. Anytime I go, no, get away from me! Get away from me, you fuckers! Oh! Stop it! Stop it!
was giving it all away? Getting it in the street, getting it in the street. You was picking it up, checking it out, chewing it up, spitting it out, getting it in the street. Yeah, yeah. Was giving it all away.
Either one of you want a menu?
Just coffee, please.
Same here.
Put up some fight, huh?
Huh? Oh, yeah, the girl across the street.
What happened to her now?
Probably take her down to the station and book her. And she'll call a lawyer or bail bondsman or a boyfriend. She'll be out in a couple hours, probably. It's not that bad being down at the station house. It's only when something goes wrong and you wind up in the slammer downtown with all the psychos and the drunks it gets a little heavy.
Sound as if you've been there.
No, not in a while. I guess I got a little old for it.
You don't look that old to me.
I can say the same about you.
I'm 18.
Yeah, and I'm Governor Brown. Nice to meet you. Any chance of getting your vote? What's your name?
Carol.
Hi, I'm Dan.
You probably never heard of it. Payne's Creek?
You're right. Never heard of it.
Well, it's about 40 miles from Red Bluff. I ran away about 3 weeks ago. How about you?
Me? New Mexico. Little town. 2 gas stations, 2 bars, 2 churches. I spent some time out here when I was in the Navy. I went back and found they'd closed down one of the bars. Ruined my whole scene. Where are you gonna stay tonight, Carol?
I still have some money.
Okay. Stay out of the motels on this street. Most of them are used by hookers. And where they're hookers, they're pimps. Here. Give me the name of a safe house I know. A lot of runaways go there. It's run by some really nice people. All they ask is that you contact your parents within 72 hours. You don't have to tell them where you are. Just let them know that you're alive and well. I can take you there if you want.
No, I'll stay on here a while.
Okay, suit yourself. Listen, I'll get the coffee.
Thanks. Will I see you again?
Maybe. Maybe I'll see you in here tomorrow afternoon. Say, 5 o'clock?
Okay. Good night, Dan.
Good night. I just hate to leave you here alone.
It's okay. I've been alone a lot lately. I guess you kind of get used to it.
Yeah. See you.
Hey, Fritz, come back here. What's the matter with you?
Oh, my God.
The second girl was found in the park early this morning.
Were they able to find out whether she was killed there or not?
Robbery homicide says that the physical indication shows that she was beaten to death, as in the first case, at a different location.
Imo the same in other respects?
That's right. There was no sexual molestation in the ordinary sense of the word. The girl was 20 years old. She had a record of arrests and convictions for prostitution and narcotics.
Was this girl tied into organized crime in any way?
Robbery homicide doesn't have an answer on that yet, but they're working on it.
Perez hasn't even mentioned the syndicate.
That's right. They're playing it as a psycho who may be driven to kill again.
Suppose they're right.
They may very well be. Divisional Homicide is processing the records of known sex offenders recently released and living in the area. Black and white radio card teams are going house to house.
What about progress in the first girl's case?
Some. They now think that the first girl was murdered in room 108 of the Starland Motel.
Car has to go with the room, right?
Tad Plymouth. Driver listed Nevada license plates, but Nevada DMV says they're phonies.
Well, this sounds more like a pretty well-planned killing than some psycho going wild.
That's right. That's why I want you back on the street immediately. How'd it go last night?
Well, I'm getting the feel of it again. And it's funny. You loaned out the vice or the narcotics, and you work real hard to make a lot of arrests. And you think, well, we're clean up the street. You come back 6 months later, same people, same games, same street. Well, maybe a few new faces, but the street never really seems to change.
No.
Something? You look terrific in that.
Thanks.
As a matter of fact, you have a perfect figure for high fashion clothing.
Thanks again.
You're welcome. Native to the city?
No,
But you like it here?
very much. Were you born here?
Nah, New York. My parents came out here when I was 12, though, so I was able to go to high school and college out here. Well, I guess this is about as far as I go. Look, it's been real nice meeting you. But you haven't told me your name yet.
Carol. Hey, what is it?
What, the car? It's a Lotus. You like it?
Wow, must have cost a fortune.
Yeah, it did. Well, not that you're all that interested, but my name is Ted Marshall.
Nice to meet you, Ted.
Yeah.
Well, I really should get going.
Sure, but can I say something?
It's a free country.
Just now, when you were looking in the window, and when you were looking at the young people going by, there was a sort of a sad expression on your face.
So?
It's almost as if you were cut off from those things. You know, nice clothes, friends.
Well, I've been in town about 3 weeks. I've been to a lot of modeling agencies. But most of them aren't really interested unless you pay them money to train you.
Yeah, I know. Hey, do you ever have lunch across the street?
Ted, I don't think I could afford to have lunch over there.
I can. I can even afford lunch for both of us.
Mr. Johnson, I'd like you to meet my husband, Dan Shay.
Howdy. What do we need here?
Oh, I usually add $25 to whatever the purchase is.
Mr. Shay, we have an identification policy.
Well, I can't carry any identification. I'm her husband.
Yes, well, I still have to see a major credit card or preferably a driver's license.
Look, she's telling you I'm her husband. We have a lovely apartment, a wonderful daughter. I pay bills just like everybody else. Excuse me. Summer cold.
Yes, well, Mrs. Shay, I just...
Okay. I have driver's license, 2 major credit cards, and your own store's check guarantee card. Okay? Sorry.
Treated like a second-class citizen. You think that's funny?
And your nose kept running and you were yawning?
I suppose you thought that was funny, too, right?
It was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, I better get you home before you get in any more trouble.
What? Trouble? I'm not in any trouble.
Well, you sure look suspicious to that assistant manager.
Oh, yeah? You probably agreed with every word he said, right?
Absolutely. I mean, this is a very respectable community.
Get in the car.
Well, we've sat around this place most of an hour waiting for this,
Dan, I know I'm sorry. I just kind of half promised him.
Well, you can stay here forever if you want to. There are going to be some very important people at my father's cocktail party. You know, people who employ models and fashion designers.
Hello.
Coffee, I guess. You know that girl, Carol, I was with last night?
Mm-hmm. She waited almost an hour. You know, the guy she was with was getting really angry.
She was with a guy, huh?
Yep. Sorry.
It's none of my business anyway.
Well, you know, I guess we were going to some cocktail party, you know. Models, big shots. To tell you the truth, I think she'd be better off having coffee with you.
What time did she leave?
Oh, just now. They just left.
Yeah, look. Thanks very much for the coffee.
Carol! Oh, Dan! There he is now.
Look, just get in the car. Shut up.
What are you talking about?
Get out of here. This is my action.
What
You
are
don't
you
get...
talking about, your action?
You know what he is, Carol? He's a pimp. He's a pimp with fancy clothes and a fancy car, and I'll have you on reds and whites for the night's over. Come on, let's get out.
Oh, Dan, what was I getting into?
It's all over. Come on.
Thank God you stopped me. Thanks, Uncle Fred.
Your dad's not home, huh?
No, he, travels a lot, and, he changes jobs quite a bit. He'll probably call, though.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's early yet. Why don't we go take a walk, huh?
Yeah. Is this the place you wanted me to come to last night? That's not that bad at all. thought it'd be kind of grim.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you wouldn't want to spend the rest of your life there. There's always lots of young people, and you can make some friends. Did you call your mom?
Well, I would, but I wouldn't know where to reach her. She left my dad about 7 years ago, and she calls from different towns sometimes, but last time I knew she was in Miami.
Ah, sounds like you didn't have much of a home to run away from.
Look, I don't want you getting down listening to my sad stories. You've done enough already.
Yeah? Well, maybe I just like listening to you talk, huh? Besides, sounds like you could use a friend.
Yes, I could.
What's the matter?
Oh, I was just thinking, you meet so many people on the road and kind of get to know them and then they're gone.
Yeah?
And sometimes you never know what happens to them, and then sometimes you do. Like that drug OD, like that girl that got murdered the other night, the second one. I saw the story about it on TV just before I called home.
Wait a minute. You mean you knew Kathy West?
Not very well. I was a couple years behind her in high school. She dropped out and came down here.
Did you see her?
That's the terrible part. I mean, I guess I just must have been hours before she got killed. I went to the address her mother gave me. She loaned me $20.
What else happened?
Nothing.
Come on, Carol, talk to me.
As the papers say, she was a working girl.
Yeah, I understand that.
And I was leaving as one of her customers was coming in.
What do you look like?
Tall, kind of heavy. Why are you asking me all these questions?
Because I want you to remember what he looked like. Listen, if you ever see him or anyone else like him, I want you to stay away from him, all right?
I've never hooked Dan. I don't know if you believe that, but I've had a lot of chances, and I've never been able to do it with someone I didn't care about. Maybe that's not much to be proud of, but that's all I got.
Hey, it's Abram. And the reject.
He didn't have a suit when we went through the academy. Look how he's flashing now.
Yeah. Can we knock off the Mutual Admiration Society, huh? Let's take a look at what we got. We know that the first girl was murdered by a man who registered at the Starland Hotel, driving a tan Plymouth with false Nevada license plates. Officer Shay has learned that the second girl was visited by a tall, powerful-looking man just hours before she was killed.
Hey, Dan, I take it all back.
Did the two girls know each other?
Absolutely. They were both products of the Fraser system.
System?
Organized Vice has the operation pretty much outlined. They get the girls when they're just beginners, and then they use a combination of force and sometimes forced sex. Turn out a hardened hooker.
Who's this beauty in the mugshot here?
Frank DeMano. He works for Fraser. Been convicted of felonious assault 3 times around.
That his car? That's right. And he was not working the nights the two girls were murdered.
The description I did get fits him.
Dan, we have every reason to believe it was him. We ran an FBI check on his name and the names of the 2 murdered girls. DeMano recruited both Marie Danner and Kathy West.
Yeah, but if he recruited them, why would he not? He was also responsible for their behavior. Marie was spending a lot of money. Maybe she picked up some information on the way.
Blackmail. Probably. Or she may have gotten greedy in another way. Wanted a setup as a madam. We've arrested a few that young who are already established madams.
But they don't work for the mob.
That's right, TJ. Mob never heard of women that live.
Who's the second girl?
Well, Shay's informant says Kathy West was planning to move, so maybe she found out some information about the first girl's murder.
They decided it was easier to kill her instead of transfer her and take a chance.
That's the way they think.
But we have no solid evidence yet. For either killing, to blame DeMano.
Easy, Walt. We didn't expect you to knock off the Grand Council of La Cosa Nostra the first time out. We build very slowly around here, sometimes painfully.
Hey, man, I'm still not
not sure this is a good idea.
Look, we want to get Demano into custody without Dan's friend, Carol, identifying him.
Yeah, I know, but you go in there.
Because even if she could finger him as being in Kathy's apartment, that still doesn't prove that he killed her.
All right, give it a try. Go get him, Paul.
No, it's go get him, Raul.
Just go get him, man.
You want to take pictures of the girls, huh?
That's right.
How long have you been in the United States?
3 months.
Hey, Frank?
Yeah.
You got a Latin lover over here.
Come on, Jose.
Raul Gaitan.
Oh, whatever. Come on. Come on. Hey. That's $50.
Yeah, that's what they said at the plan.
Yeah.
Hey,
This way.
hey, well, what is this? What are the girls?
No girls for you, jumping bean.
Well, wait a minute. I am legal. I got a green card.
It's a phony. I know it, and you know it. Now move, wetback.
Wait a minute. You got no right to do that.
I said move.
I'll go to the police.
Now you do that. You go to the police. Now tell them you made dirty remarks to my girl. And when you get out of jail, immigration will be waiting for you, and they'll put you on a bus and ship you back home. Now get out of here.
Give me my money.
I said, get out! I told you! Get out of here! I told you, wetback. Get out of here.
Well, they told you we would have to build this case slowly and painfully. You took their word for it.
I don't see anything that wrong with it, Sergeant. Demano took $50 from Sanchez. That's robbery. Then he hit him and he kicked him. That's felonious assault. He's already fallen for that 3 times in 3 other states.
You know what the mob's attorneys would plea bargain that down to?
Yeah, well, at least they'd have him in custody. And Ostrom and Morgan could interrogate him.
Get him to confess to the killing of 2 girls while all they've got over his head is a couple of years in jail? He'd laugh at them as he made bail.
And even if we shook him up and he let it slip to Fraser, they'd fly out a contract killer within 24 hours to get him. Just like he killed the girls.
He's right. Now, look, we gave it a good try. Maybe this really isn't our case.
No, you can still help us make the case.
How do you mean?
I think Shay knows what I'm driving at. What's the answer, Dan?
What, you mean use the girl, use Carol?
That's it. We'll tell you how, and you guys set up the bust.
What if something goes wrong?
Nothing will go wrong.
Oh, really?
Look, Demano's already seen her. He knows she was a friend of one of the murdered girls.
So he's got 2 choices. He either sponsors her as a possible replacement, or he figures maybe he'll get rid of her, too. What are those 2 girls down the morgue, huh? Dead animals?
Shay, don't tell us how to do the job. Now, if you don't want to use your pet hooker, then just pull out of the case and we'll take it from there.
Dad, hold it. Come on now, wait a minute.
If you want to take me out, I'm glad to avoid
Hey, knock it off, both of you, huh?
Jack, I think you owe the kid an apology.
Like hell I'll apologize.
All right, I will. Then we're just marching right out of here. All right? Jack was out of line, Walt. Maybe you ought to talk to Shay, too, huh?
Would you two please leave us alone for a moment?
Let me know what you decide.
Gotcha, DJ. Now, look, Dad. Those guys have been fighting organized crime for over 20 years.
I don't care if they've been fighting at 100. They're talking about Carol's life.
Yes, they are. Okay. I see I have to ask the question. Are you involved with this girl?
Yes, I'm involved with her as a human being, like any human being.
Dan, I understand your feelings, but we're not talking about just one life here. Demano or even Frazier himself were not that important. But organized crime is an infection, a cancer. Once it takes hold, it spreads. Now, if we get Demano and he gives us Frazier, then we got a chance to cut that infection out before it really gets started.
And if Carol's life is the price we have to pay, that's pretty expensive surgery, wouldn't you say?
We'll give that girl every protection we can. You heard them. We're going to make that bust. Dan, the department expects you to build a kind of high fence around us and the people we become involved with. Now, that sometimes applies to the victims as well as the perpetrator.
Well, maybe it's just not that easy for me to separate people off.
Well, let me tell you something. That high fence is also protective. It protects you and your wife and your kid. Now, I can't order you to call Carol. But if I were in your place, I'd give Carol a choice before they killed somebody else.
Excited?
I am. I really am.
Yeah, something good happened?
Right. One of the girls at the safe house, well, she works as a waitress at Carl's. There's an opening. I saw the manager and I got the job. Something wrong?
Well, it's kind of a long way from being a model or a fashion designer, wouldn't you say?
But you were the one that told me how to be more realistic. I thought you'd be pleased.
Yeah, I know. I told you a lot of things, Carol. And I'm sorry.
I don't understand.
Your girlfriend, Kathy?
Well, I didn't know her that well. I've been trying to forget.
We think we know who killed her.
We?
Yeah, we. I'm a cop, Carol.
I don't believe it.
We'll believe it. The man you saw in Kathy's apartment's name is Frank DeMano. If we're right, he killed both Kathy and Marie.
All this time, you were using me.
No, that's not true. Maybe it started off as being part of the job. Somewhere along the way, things changed.
I became a friend.
Yeah, that's right, you became a friend.
And what do you want your friend to do now?
We need somebody to go into the model studio where DeMano works as a bouncer.
Why don't you use a policewoman?
Because in those places, girls usually do things that a policewoman can't legally do.
But I can't.
No, you make up some kind of an excuse or something. It's a one-time only shot.
Suppose they don't take that excuse.
Well, then we'll back out. We'll go a different way. But whatever happens, I want you to know something. And remember it. I didn't suggest you go to that safe house because I was using you. And I certainly didn't kick the hell out of that pimp because I was using you either. Look, there are 2 dead girls. One of them loaned you $20 the night she was killed. You're the best chance we have of getting the guy who killed them. If we get him, we can roll him over and maybe get the guy he works for who belongs to the syndicate.
And then what?
Well, then you're out, free and clear.
You mean I wouldn't have to testify? You mean his bosses wouldn't come looking for me later?
We did the best we could to protect you. I'll forget it.
Let me out.
Come on, wait. Carol, I'm sorry, and I know just how you feel.
Don't know anything about how I feel.
Carol, wait, come on!
I guess the lasagna was a mistake.
Oh, no, honey, the lasagna was fine. I'm just not very hungry.
Okay. I'll put it in the fridge. Maybe later, huh?
Yeah.
You know, I understand that it's very difficult for a man to make love to one woman when he's thinking about another.
Look, I'm not thinking about her as another woman or girl. I'm thinking about her as another human being. Come on.
What's her name?
Carol.
You know, it's strange. I was driving home the other night, and I was thinking about this case. And it was raining. I saw this young girl, and she was almost my age, really.
Out in the streets?
Yeah.
She had this umbrella, and it was kind of flowered. And I started thinking about all the girls that were being murdered. I mean, she must think about that.
Wonder if it could happen to her?
Sure. And I mean, then I started thinking about it. It must be a hard enough life anyway. I mean, but why does she have to deal with rain and a psychotic murderer, too?
You know, Holly, you don't run true to form.
What do you mean?
Well, in court, most defense attorneys defending a prostitute try like hell to keep young married women off the jury.
Why?
Because inevitably, they vote to convict.
That's probably because they feel threatened. But I don't. And there's no way that I would vote to convict that one in the rain. Here's your phone again.
Yeah. Hello.
Dan?
Where are you?
I'm just off the boulevard.
Look, forget about the case. If you want to just get together and talk.
No. I want to help you.
Why?
Maybe it's because I was impressed by what you said. Maybe I don't want that guy who killed Kathy to get away from it. But maybe it's because I just can't go back. And I just might end up as a working girl myself. And they always need a favor from a cop.
Don't say that. Don't ever say that, you understand? Okay, about 15 minutes. We can set everything up then. See ya.
She gonna help you?
Yeah. But I had to push her. I just hope I didn't push her too hard.
So always just walk in?
Yeah. Meet any of the customers?
Not tonight.
You will. First, you'll pose a little bit. Then you'll play the game. Game's gonna be fun.
Sure, in time.
Can I walk you out?
Sure.
You'll be back tomorrow night.
Sure. I enjoyed myself. I'm just sorry we had to meet the way we did. Poor Kathy.
Yeah. You know, a girl's got to be careful today. You got a bunch of crazy creep psychos running around, you know what I mean?
I don't think so.
What do you mean?
Kathy said her friend was murdered by the syndicate.
What'd she say?
That she knew a lot, that she had to leave town, and they hoped they'd just let her leave quietly. But you couldn't. Could you, Mr. Romano?
What do you want?
What does a working girl always want? Money.
Money. Well, look, I don't got that kind of money on me, but I can take you where it's at. Get in the car.
DJ, they're moving out. The Tad Plymouth making a left out in Fairmont.
Okay, Sarge, we got him. We'll keep a loose tail.
Play your cards right, you might get rich.
That's what I figured. That's the only reason I came to this town.
A man just made a left on 4th and he's running. DJ, you pick up the parallel on 6th. We'll stay with him. That's a roger.
He's starting to move. Must have spotted us.
No, he's just cleaning himself off.
He ran the red. Blow the light, Sarge.
You don't know he's being tailed.
Damn it. He's turning onto Belmore right now. We no longer have him in sight. TJ, pick up Belmore and watch for him around 5th.
Lost him. We just made a left on Belmore. There's no sign of our man.
Slow down, will you? I'd like to live long enough to spend some of that money. Hey, what is this?
Wait and see, kid.
Where are they, Walt? You could be taking her anywhere.
We better call in the black and whites and get out. Wait a minute. The other side of the street.
Okay, TJ. We picked him up. He's now eastbound on Flower Avenue. We're in pursuit.
We're heading behind the Wilson Street warehouse and closing. That should put him right between us.
He just took a left off Flower. Okay, he's into the alley, westbound. We got him now.
You're trying to take me and it's all over for us.
No. We have a policy of making no deals.
Well, you better change your policy tonight.
Hey, TJ.
Yeah, Dan.
Are you going to bury both of us?
Can you dash over to that dumpster and distract them for a couple seconds?
You got it, buddy. 3 seconds after the Roger.
I want the sedan pulled back. And a chance to get to my car.
Stop it! Now listen to me! Don't you understand? He wouldn't have let you live for 5 minutes if we hadn't taken him out. Come on.
I'm sorry. I've just never been so scared.
Me neither. Come on.
This is 8 King 7. We have a man down on the 1400 block on Madison. There's a supervisor on the scene.
Sorry, Sarge.
What for?
DeMono's dead. Can't roll him over and get to Frazier.
Oh, we'll get Frazier another time. I'd like to ask you a question, though. Just before you squeezed off that round, didn't it occur to you that that was really the only way to save the girl's life from the mob for good?
Maybe. Maybe I was thinking that I couldn't remember that first girl in the morgue at all.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Hey, you did come.
Well, have I ever broken a promise yet? Carol, I want you to meet my wife, Joanne.
Hi, how are you, Carol? I'm fine now. And thank you for coming, Joanne.
Oh, I wanted to. I'm a sucker for a happy ending.
I'll get you some menus.
Okay.